moving through our experiences when they may create doubt around accessing true love within and maybe moving more into fear, more into scarcity, more into doubt, or that other side beyond love is what today's episode is all about. So, hey, welcome, Tom.
Hello, Teresa.
It's good to be around the table with you again because it's been a couple weeks.
Good to be around the table with you.
So yeah, there's lots going on as always. And so in this episode, I really wanted to touch base and talk a bit about some of the things I've noticed lately with other people and situations that I've been involved in.
Okay.
Want to hear some?
Yes.
So
Do tell.
Do tell. Well, we're all in a place right now energetically where a lot's going on both ends of the spectrum, right? In the ends of love and in the ends of fear. And there's not a lot of people in the middle, which I think is quite interesting. So some of the different scenarios I've noticed lately have been around people being energetically affected by the actions of others in a great way, right? Like say something happens in a community that goes on for days and days and days or weeks, and thus it affects a person so much that they can't even function. Okay, that's a problem for one thing, because anything outside of us that affects us to a point where we are really down, really embracing that aspect of us, not that high, like high vibe or enthusiasm for getting up and doing stuff. It makes you, recoil and go back into your cave of energy, so to speak. That's the first thing I want to really talk about today, because that's a big topic.
Okay.
Yeah. So I want to talk about this because to me, it's about really having hygiene with your energy.
Ooh, that's good. I like that.
Hygiene
with your energy.
Like we hygiene every day. Most of us do brush our teeth.
Good energy hygiene.
Good energy hygiene. So in talking about hygiene, most of us do brush our teeth once, twice, or maybe even 3 times a day to keep those pearly whites, clear from food and debris, and other things we do to keep ourselves up. But a lot of times people don't quite understand the importance of energy hygiene.
Well, I agree.
You agree? So how's your energy hygiene, Tom?
It's wonderful.
Oh my God.
I'm very hygienic.
We obviously notice where this conversation is going today.
Yeah.
It's going down the road. So
Well, what's on your mind? What's what's an example of what you're talking about?
Well, an example of this is, so I know someone that lives near a place that has had a lot of floods lately.
Oh.
And throughout the flooding, obviously that's an energetic thing. We spoke about that. Chiron, Ying, and I and Tom spoke about that last month on our first of the month episode about astrology and energy and what was going on in October, and which has also moved into some of November, in the sense that there's a lot of floods going on around the world, a lot of movement of water, a lot of things happening. So I've noticed that some people that live in these areas are energetically affected by the mourning of those that have passed on, the mourning of the land, the mourning of and I say mourning, not morning, it's mourning. So the mourning of, should I still live in this place or do I move somewhere? So, and so the thing that I really noticed around these people is the fact that they're not taking care of their energy. Like, there's so much that goes on every single day on this planet that all of us could be literally in bed for the rest of our lives with what's going on, right? I mean, so if you don't understand or take care of your energy and how things affect you outside of you, affect the inside of you, then, how are you going to exist here? Because this is a constant place of change and movement. And so really being able to take care of your inside while the outside is going cray cray is a big deal. So what is your perspective on this, Tom?
Well, one of the things that comes to mind was that you were sharing with me this morning over breakfast that, one of your friends says, you really can't have it all. And you were talking about health and relationships, and what else were you talking about?
Yeah, health, relationships, money. Yeah.
Money. Yeah,
Mhm.
of course, money.
Mm-hmm.
So, and money just, having enough provides some sense of inner security.
Mhm.
But it struck me as you were saying that you have another friend that talks about how you can have it all.
Mhm.
And I thought to myself, well, so what does I can have it all really mean? And I guess for me, when I tune back into who I am as a soul and what my purpose here is to learn and grow and to work in that flow of my thrust, to be happy and free. So how do you stay happy and free when you just got your house flooded? How
Mm.
do you deal with the big changes in life? You take a chance that that's never going to happen or it was never in your consciousness. So to me, staying positive is looking at every situation as an opportunity to grow and learn and still accept that I might go through some grievance or I might go through some emotion. That's all valid. But in my true feelings, if I really tune back into who I am, that I've heard, I'm water, I come from water, and I will return to water. Water is a symbol for spirit, or I am spirit, I came from spirit, and I will return to spirit. As I tune into that feeling, I can't take any of this here on planet Earth with me. And so I was starting to share with you, how, wow, you know, damn it, I can't take it with me. Well, what if I really get a chance to do tune back into that with my spiritual helpers or my guides? I wouldn't want to take any of this with me. I'm an intelligent pattern of energy. There's a bigger picture as to why I'm here. Now, as I wake up every morning, I'm in the here and now. I'm thinking about my new job opportunity. I'm thinking about as we were talking about doing our tax returns and getting the business information all pulled together. So I'm living in the real world. But if I don't tune back into that bigger picture of what I'm doing here in the first place, I can miss those opportunities to enjoy the fulfillment along the way. So it's interesting you bring up this story about the floods that have happened and say some of the natural disasters and so forth. I know that one of my spiritual helpers, who she was a female in her last incarnation, and I went through some interesting experiences a while back, and it was shared with me that she had to start over again. She ran in pioneering times, had like a saloon and innkeeper. And I have this impression that it burned down and she was, older or more mature and just had to rebuild the whole thing. But that there was a lot of fulfillment in that. I'm getting chills now. But there was a lot of fulfillment and a chance to redo some things. And I'm not saying that, and I guess what, I was picking up from that master soul, that it's not to say there weren't challenges. It's just to say that overall the feeling was fulfillment. So when we get back to, I'm coming full circle to, I can have it all. It struck me this morning that, we tend to think of that. I know I do. I tend to think of it in terms of, well, I want so much money and I want such and such a house and I want such and such safety and health. And I want these kinds of relationships, which is all valid. But uh, what is it I really feel good about having it all? And it's, to me, it's that feeling of inner security, certainty, the opposite of doubt, the certainty that I have what it takes to move through all the challenges that I face.
That feels really good, the certainty. So, because when you have certainty and also you access the spiritual part of our journey, which is like Tom's mentioning his, our personal team of spiritual helpers, energy techniques that cleanse your aura and understanding your gifts and your intuition, those can support the doubt you might have. And then that doubt might, and so that's really a way to uplift your spiritual hygiene, your energetic hygiene, right?
Yeah, stay cleansed and then stay cleansed in my thoughts, my thoughts that if I start buying into that, oh my God, how am I going to do it? I don't know what I'm going to do. Geez, I see this challenge coming up. There's nothing I can do to stop it. Well, I have to really tune back into who I am as a soul, see the see that glass is half full. I often talk about, being positive for me is different than being optimistic. Optimistic is having this idea that, things are going to be great and I'm going to win this and I'm going to get that and I'll have what I, need. But being positive is, I trust myself. I trust the people around me. Most of all, I trust myself to use my spiritual discernment, my sensitivity to move through whatever challenge that I'm facing. So I know that, I don't know what I'm going to do concept. I have to watch that one in my past, with my first 7 years comes up. My mom used to say, I don't know what I'm going to do. And if I'm not careful, that tape will play in my head. So this is where self-discovery comes in. As I tune back into the bigger picture that I'm spirit, I came from spirit and I'm going to return to spirit. And then I come back to, I'm already perfect. Now that's a bit of a mind blower for people with religious concepts because we're taught that we're little worms. But how this helps me is that if I work with, I'm already perfect. So now I just have to tune into my inner wisdom, the suggestions I get from my guidance, embrace that opportunity. Everything's okay now. I'm still here. So what's the first step that I'm going to take? And then before you know it, you move through your challenges step by step. And then there's a lot of fulfillment there. Now, that's the kind of energy we can take with us, that kind of wisdom and experience. And maybe next lifetime, you'll pick up on it a few months before and move. I don't know, or a few
Right.
years before when you had that job opening in another state, or something like that. So, but it's all good. It's all, good and bad are terms that we've really are based on night and day, and it's okay to use those terms, but more and more I'm thinking that to stay positive is that loving, growing, creative, beautiful. I fit in. I have a purpose. I already belong. I belong exactly where I'm at. And then I can move from there. It's easier to move from there.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
Well, what comes to me about that is that, of course, everyone's in different places, right? And so it also depends upon how much inner work has a person done. So,
Hmm.
and that looks like different things for different people. So for like myself, I mean, I've done, different work when I was a massage therapist, energy work, then went down and, into some deeper work later on, with, some tapping and NLP and different things. So, I mean, there's been
Mm-hmm.
different things I've accessed throughout the years, even hypnotherapists or hypnotherapy. So a lot of people haven't. And I guess for myself lately, even in the jobs I've been working on, and last month I shared about how I was working in Target. Then I didn't really share the whole story, but I actually a week and a half later moved to a different job. So now I'm actually working in an accounting area for an amazing architectural firm in my local area. And so interacting with all kinds of different people at all kinds of levels has really, I'll be honest with you, it's actually nourished my soul because I'm able where I'm at energetically and the hygiene that I keep up daily with our cleansing, with working with my guidance,
Your spiritual hygiene.
my spiritual hygiene has enabled me to really honor where other people are at. And this is a real key, I feel, for where we're all at energetically and what's going on in the outside of us. So because this is being released on November 5th, which is our election here in the States. And there, there's a lot of energy going on around this time frame and has been for the last few months. And actually, you know what? If you look back at history, it's always gone on around the political stuff. But recognizing that my brothers and sisters on the other side who have different viewpoints than I do and maybe are filled with fear, anxiety, discord, chaos, it's okay. And I honor that, like because that's just where they're at. So, in having these things that you do for your spiritual hygiene or energetic hygiene really can support like working with other people, understanding the bigger picture, like Tom is mentioning, outside of us, of what's going on, and just giving yourself, and I'm going to say this word, grace.
Oh, I like that. Well,
Really.
uh, so, from a practical point of view, you're talking about staying cleansed spiritually, which we have a technique, and, we show people that technique. You've got a video that
Yeah,
we'll
I can put
put
the video down in the show
just to
notes.
remind people the
Yeah, the link.
technique. And what that does is it uplifts our aura and expands our consciousness, and it allows your spiritual helpers to move closer. So you're tuning into the highest source that's available to you. And, uh, your buffer is there so that when these self-doubt around other people or people's thought patterns kick in, you can discern better what's you and what's not you. But, another big important thing about all this is staying militant with my thoughts. Now, I know that word militant, especially in the years that I was raised, militant had kind of this negative connotation of protests and militancy. But let's take that militance and just tune it into how I want to feel, or what am I truly feeling? And if I'm militant to have those positive thoughts, I have to let go of that doubt. I have to let go of that fear. And, where I'm at this particular point is no matter what happens, no matter who's elected, for example, here in the United States, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to have opportunity. I'm going to work with my energy, as myself. I'm going to have lots of great experiences to learn and grow and find fulfillment in the challenges and situations that arise, because we'll never cleanse the earth of all the situations and the learning experiences.
And that's why we're here. I mean,
That's why we're
really,
here.
we need both sides, right?
Yeah. When you pass on, you'll tend to rise to the level of consciousness you're at. And we hang with like-minded people. And, you notice here that on planet Earth, we do the same thing. We tend to hang around with groups of people, or we'll discuss things with group of people, like in political views that are similar to our own. And, but recently I wanted to talk about this town hall that I listened to recently. And I heard all kinds of different viewpoints on things. And, even those folks who think maybe politically along the lines that I think, or have their preferences politically, they can be fearful too.
Mhm.
And the people that don't agree with me politically and have their political thoughts, along their lines, they can have fear and doubt. So it's really important that for me to stay relaxed while others learn and grow. And that's probably the biggest key. I'm here for this experience. I don't need to get aggravated that somebody's not quite seeing what I see. I just have to relax and enjoy the parts that are positive, powerful, masterful in them. Enjoy those parts and allow them to, I can drop some seeds, or I can share how I'm feeling about it occasionally, but just accept people where they're at, because that's what we're here to rub up against, all sorts of levels of consciousness.
Absolutely. And I want to just bring in the word of fear. So, and love, because both of those key words have a lot of energy behind them. And so, on both sides of the spectrum, depending upon what side you're on, there's fear and then there's love. And honestly, too, there's an underlying component that brings both of those together, is that most souls really just want to live life happy, just want to be productive with what they're doing, want to be of purpose, be of service. And of course, yeah, there's a few, or quite a few that don't, but overall, that is the underlying really energy around, why we're here and what we're here to experience and to move through. And so being able to go, I'm feeling this fear, I'm feeling this mourning, right? Mourning, and this chaos around me. And so how am I going to move through this so that way I'm okay? Because as we've said many times before, is that, it starts with us. So if I'm in a shit place, well, Tom's going to feel that. And then if Tom feels that, other people are going to feel it too. So how do you keep up
True.
your energy? Yeah, Tom's like, hell's yeah. How
And
do you
likewise.
right, exactly. Yeah, if Tom's in a bad place, I feel it too. But do I allow that energy that others are experiencing to influence my energy? Especially at this level that I'm at, where I understand that I've got a team of support behind me, of master souls. I can cleanse or I can not cleanse if I decide to. There are things I can, tune into the hunches, insights, and impressions that I get throughout every single day that back me, or I could not. So I have choices. And so I guess that's really
Yes.
where I want to kind of come full circle to from my beginning, is that I'm seeing a lot of people who also have these abilities within them, not choosing to access them in a way that's really supportive for them.
Yes. And so, that's all about learning and growing and staying patient. I accept myself where I'm at, and I
Mhm.
accept others where they're at. And boy, there's a big key there. As soon as I do that, I feel relaxed. Like if I accept myself, I accept others where they're at. Now, it's important that we establish boundaries of, if we have our own self respect, my right to swing my fist or, end somewhere well in front of your face kind of a thing. And that's where I think the confusion moves in is, there's a religious concept of kind of giving it all up for the other person and that kind of thing, but really, truly spiritual. And what I feel was meant was that, it's important that we have to respect
Mhm.
ourselves. We have to respect the opportunity that I have to be in this physical body, to have somewhat safe and secure, to work with the rhythms and routines so that I can learn and grow. And, uh, those are probably, that mourning thing. It's very interesting that you brought that up. That's a good point, is that there will be people in mourning, probably in the United States, probably half the country,
Yeah,
whatever the
absolutely.
outcome turns out to be, unless something really bizarre happens in the next, week or so. So, if I make sure that my journey, what I came to do here is more important than that, then I guess I can stay clear and rise above it. But at the same time, I'm going to respect my boundaries. I'm going to have my preferences until I
Mhm.
change my mind, until I kind of am enlightened that maybe there's a better way to look at things. And one of the things I wanted to share about was, you know, uh, don't let them create doubt in you. We are living in a world where there's people are very masterful at creating doubt and division. And the truth is as we move back, when you tune back into your true feelings and you tune into the bigger picture, there's spiritual healing in that, because I go, oh, I'm just here temporarily. That's a big eye opener. Oh yeah, I'm just here passing through. It's an inkling of a feeling that feels so true to me that once I feel it, you can tell me that, but if I don't feel it, it won't be true for me. So that helps. But every day we wake up, we're back in, the school of life, and we have a choice. I can either work with my spiritual helpers or my own natural feel, organize myself, act, or I can listen to the dark side, so to speak, or the side that maintains the confusion and chaos. But it all stems from love, love, self-respect, inner respect for how I operate. And from there, it flows that I can love and respect everyone else. And I guess that's the big key is I get chills on that, as we move through the next couple of weeks, maintain that love and respect for yourself. And that allows you to maintain love and respect for everyone else. But you brought up something else, is that as you work with people that you love and you like and you enjoy being around, you'll notice that I have noticed, as you were sharing this morning, that, they seem to be in sync with you in certain ideas spiritually, but then they have other ideas
Mhm.
and other fears will move in. But that's all part of the process, is kind of shedding those concepts to get back to the real you. And I don't know why we do this. I guess we do it because, well, life is meant to be more pleasant and more fulfilling than we're allowing ourselves to live it. But that it all comes down to having patience with others, patience with myself first. This has got to start here. And then it's easy to be patient as others grow and allow them to have their own aha moments, you know?
Indeed, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess with all that said, let's talk about maybe some key things that people can tune into
Okay.
for to gather that energetic hygiene and really be okay with where you're at as people around you spin out. I'll say it that way. So one thing that we've been I'll just say it that way because that's probably what we're going to be experiencing because honestly we have been listening to and they're even saying that with the division of people on the in the United States right now that there will be perhaps a mass um
Health crisis.
mental
Yeah.
health crisis because when one side and the other doesn't win they're going to go a little off. So no, and knowing that, it's also just in preparing. So I guess some keys for myself would be to share with you all is one like we've been talking about is the self-care. So finding what works for you. So again, I will put in a link in the show notes to a video that I did a couple months ago, maybe a month or two ago, that shows you 3 techniques of cleansing that starts with you, your environment, and the world. So I'll put that in the link below. And the other thing I guess I want to really share is it's about discernment. So once you are able to really cleanse your energy field and start feeling and picking up on energies that move in on you, and like Tom mentioned earlier with your thoughts, is start discerning, oh, that's not my thought. And once you are able to really tune into that discernment, it dissipates and moves away because it doesn't connect. It's like, oh, I'm thinking about this bad thing. And then you go, oh yeah, I'm thinking about that bad thing. And then all of a sudden you start getting flooded with all this negativity.
Hmm.
So cleansing your aura and then being able to discern that's not me. Why am I immediately feeling, like I want to kill someone or I mean, not literally, but like some really intense
Very
thing.
angry or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or scared.
Exactly. Angry, scared, chaotic, impulse or thought comes into your head. And then you're like, that's not me. And literally it will dissipate and move on. Now, this takes time to obviously develop to, like right now, I'm at a point in my discernment where literally I can see when people are not, when there's an energy in them that's not them. Literally, I can tell, and I can tell through the Zoom for people I watch online. I can tell in person. So, but that's because I worked with my discernment over years of really honing in on what's me and what's not me. So I guess that's my take on what I would suggest for energetic hygiene. What about you, Tom?
Again, I'll go back to what you're sharing, which is just be aware of your thoughts and how long do I want to indulge in that negative thought, especially when it's a repetitive pattern. And if there's a lot of fear there, how do you change feeling fearful? Because every once in a while something can move in and you get a surprise in life. And so until you're at that point where you anticipate everything, which none of us really do,
No.
or we don't want to, we have a concept about the way outcomes might be that we don't want to accept. I have so that I talk myself out of it. But my true feelings or my sensitivity often feels it. And that's where stress can come in because you're arguing in your intellect with what you truly felt in the first place. Instead of going, okay, all right, I'm picking that up, and I don't have a lot of control about that area except for that, what am I going to do to stay relaxed and stay positive and have the resources that I need and that kind of thing. Or maybe I need to communicate and ask for help for some folks and just touch base with people, find out where they're at. So, it's all about, we have concepts that we buy into in our first 7 years that will stimulate fear in us. And we've been trained to accept that as us. That's what's reinforced. So the more that you can let go of those negative thoughts, that's my summary.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. Excellent. So I guess this is a good place to end. And I also want to end with, again, that word grace. So giving yourself grace as you move through your journey and experience.
Grace, that's a great word. Yeah.
Grace.
So what does
yeah.
grace mean to you?
Well, grace is just really that peace within, and accessing that in different, wherever I'm at, and in different environments, different scenarios, is just knowing that, like you're saying, like, I'm an unlimited energy source in a physical body right now. So this too shall pass, and I'll move on, and none of this is even going to matter when I get back to my being an energy being. So
Yeah, the grace to allow my inner leadership to flow in whatever situations that I'm involved with.
absolutely. And
Feels
then the
good.
other thing I want to mention, is that, just remember, everyone, that, we're having these human experiences. So even like Tom's talking about, like things can move in on us. It's like, yeah, even me, like, as much as I'm telling you, I can discern really well, I'm still human. So I'm still having moments where things move in on me. And sometimes it might last a little longer than other times, but just, really taking that to heart, that in this physical realm that we're in, this whatever degree realm we're in,
3 dimensions
three
or
dimensions, yeah, and in these physical
4
bodies,
dimensions.
10th dimension, whatever the hell dimension they want to say it is,
Yeah.
that we are human, and you're having a human experience, and honor that too. So,
Yes.
anything
And,
else?
for those folks that have bothered to listen to this, you're a part of the solution. Be a part of the solution. Make an impact in your own personal environment through your positive thoughts and your positive feelings, and stay tuned into who you really are in that situation.
Very well said, Tom. So, we wish all of you guys out there, a happy month ahead, and and the rest of the
We'll
year. But
compare notes on the other side
right,
of this,
exactly. No, we just
all
want to.
these world events.
Yeah, we just want to thank you all so much for listening in, wherever you're at on the planet. We look through our stats, and we know that this is being listened to in all kinds of countries around the world. So we want to give a great thanks to you so much for listening in and taking the time out of your busy schedule. We hope you got some good gems for yourself today. And anything else you want to say, Tom?
Well, just remember
That life
life
is too short to not be enthusiastic about your unique journey. To keep the enthusiasm going, please like, subscribe, or comment below. We would love to hear from you.